Let's talk about discrete probability. So the first thing we need to know about discrete probability are discrete random variables. So these are limited to a finite number of values within an interval. So for example, if a restaurant asks their customers to rate their experience on a scale of 1 to 5, there's now 5 choices. There's now 5 possible values. They can choose a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. That's it. Now, that might seem obvious, but it's a little bit different than what we'll talk about in later chapters when we get into what are called continuous random variables, where there's infinite number of values. So a restaurant could track the wait time. That would be a continuous random variable. So when we're talking discrete probability, we're talking about a finite number of values within an interval. Now, under discrete probability, we're going to have to be able to calculate our mean, our variance, and our standard deviation. So how do we do that? The mean is the weighted average. We calculate that by adding together the product of each random variable and the probability that the variable will occur. So we multiply pieces together and we add up what we get. Now, the mean can also be called the expected value, because this will tell us what we could expect from a population. So here's an example going off of the customers rating their experience, right? They have a choice of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Those are all of our X's. And then we have the probability of each X being chosen. So there's about a 10% chance that they'll choose a 1, 15% chance that they'll choose a 2, and so on. So we just multiply across. 1 times 0.1, 2 times 0.15, 3 times 0.3. If we add up those numbers, we get 3.3. 3.3 would be the mean. Now, that's also the expected value, right? So we would expect as a restaurant to get a 3 out of 5 from our customers. Now, variance and standard deviation, we're going to have to add to that table that we just worked through. So we have our X values, we have our probability of each X value, and then we have the mean that we just found. We're going to have to go through a few more steps here to find our variance. Now, we break it down step by step to make it simpler. We'll see why when we get to the end here. So our first step here is going to be to take each X and subtract out the mean. So 1 minus 3.3, and then we'll go 2 minus 3.3, 3 minus 3.3, all the way down our table. Once we have those, we're going to square them because we want to get rid of those negative values. So we go negative 2.3 squared and get 5.29. Then we'll square each of those other ones and come up with these numbers here. Once we have those, we can finally get to multiplying the 5.29, the 1.69, by the probabilities that we have over there in our second column. So 5.29 times 0.10, we get 0.529. We'll go 1.69 times 0.15, 0.09 times 0.3, and we get these values here. And this is why we go step by step in a table like this, because your variance is the sum of that last column. So if I just ask you to find the sum of your X sub I minus mean squared times the probability of X sub I, all of a sudden that sounds way too confusing, right? But we broke it down piece by piece. We took our x values and subtracted out the means. Then we squared it. Then we multiplied it by our probabilities, and then we added them together. So this allows us to work through this in a step-by-step process to be able to find our variance. Now, if you remember from previous chapters, your standard deviation is just the square root of that. It's just the square root of your variance. So we take the square root of 1.51, and our standard deviation here is 1.2288.